सति लोक उजागर। रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा, अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा। महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी, कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी। कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा, कुंचित केसा। हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा विराजे, कांधे मूंज जनेऊ साजे। शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन, तेज प्रताप जगवंदन। विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर, राम काज करिबे को आतुर। प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया, राम लखन सीता मन बसिया। सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा, विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा। भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे, रामचंद्र के काज संहारे। लाय सजीवन लखन जियारे, श्री रघुवीर हर्षि उर लाए। रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बढ़ाई, तुम मम प्रिय भरतहि सम भाई। सहस बदन तुम रोजस गावे, श्रीपति कंठ लगावे। सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा, नारद सारद सहित अहिसा। जम कुबेर दिगपाल जहाते, कवि कोविद कहि सखे कहाते। तुम उपकार सुग्रीवहि कीन्हा, राम मिलाय राजपद दीन्हा। तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना, सब जग जाना। युग सहस्र जो जन पर भानु, लियो ताहि मधुर फल जानु। प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माहि, जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाहि। जगत के जेते, सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हरे जेते। राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे, होतन आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे। सब सुख लहे तुम्हारी सरना, तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना। आपन तेज समारो आपे, तीनों लोक हांकते कापे। भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे, महावीर जब नाम सुनावे। नासै रोग हरै सब पीरा, जपत निरंतर हनुमत बीरा। संकट से हनुमान छुड़ावे, वचन ध्यान जो लावे। सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा, तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा। और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे, सोहि अमित जीवन फल पावे। चारों जुग परताप तुम्हारा, है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा। साधु संत के तुम रखवारे, असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे। अष्ट सिद्धि नवनिधि के दाता, असबर दीन जानकी माता। राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा, सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा। तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे, जन्म के दुख बिसरावे। अंत काल रघुपर पुर जाई, जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त पाठ कहाई, और देवता चित्तन धरई, हनुमत से ही सर्व सुख करई, संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा, जो सुमिरै हनुमत बलबीरा। जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई, कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई, जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई, छूटहि बंधि महासुख होई, जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा, गौरी सा। तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा, जय नाथ हृदय महडेरा। पवन तनय संकट हरन, मंगल मूरति रूप, राम लखन सीता सहित, हृदय बसहु सुरभूप। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय, उमापति महादेव की जय। बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय, श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। नासै रोग हरे सब पीरा, जपत निरंतर हनुमत बीरा। One who puts mind in Hanuman Ji sincerely, even difficulties at physical body level, they can be removed on the strength of that devotion. Implied meaning of roga was delusion or ignorance. That brings everything at mind level. Both perspectives are there and both should be well understood. One Mahatma Ji, he would say, out of all the qualities that we need for a happy life, the most important one is faith. Gurudev says that we start the journey with faith and end the journey in conviction. Faith opens a window for inquiry. It makes us walk this path and then see the result for ourselves. If somebody tells us God's grace is there in this world, means Bhagwan is somebody who showers his grace. Can we logically prove grace? We say we cannot logically prove it. For that, we have to sit down and look at our own life and see how much efforts we have put in and what results we have received in life. Whenever devotee feels, I have received much more than what I worked hard for, devotee himself says, I have received grace of God. Whenever he has come out of a difficult situation, where he had no clue how he is going to come out, that time he says, I have experienced grace of God. You ask that person, logically, can you prove it? He says, some things have to be experienced. For that matter, can you logically prove love? He says, you can only feel it. If somebody doesn't have love and still gives you a lot of things, what will we say? I don't feel it. Arey, he is giving you so many things. So action by itself is not an indicator. Whatever we feel, that is what is the final result, which will make us decide whether have you experienced love or not. This is just an example for grace. You cannot logically prove love, it has to be felt. Grace also has to be felt, not logically proven. Nasai roga hare savapira, japata nirantara hanumata bira. Then we saw one topic of noble desires and ignoble desires. Aura manoratha jo koi lave, soi amita jivana phala pave. Whoever has some kind of desire, he is very upfront in front of Bhagwan. Very straightforward. He says, Bhagwan, I know. In Vedanta you say, become desireless, become desireless. But I am unable to remove this thing. What should I do? Bhagwan says, bring it to me. Take my help in accomplishing that desire. And when devotee does it in that way, seeking Bhagwan's help, he is set free from that desire. Means that sakama bhakti makes that person nishkama. So much so that if you prematurely try to pluck a fruit, that fruit is not tasty. So best thing is allow it to ripen there, go through everything, but in a dharmic way. Taking Bhagwan's support, through that what ripening happens. That ripening makes a person ready for true spiritual pursuit. That is why in our Vedas, 96% mantras talk about desire management. If you want to fulfill this desire, want to go to Swarga, do this yajna. Want to go to Brahmaloka, do this. Want a long life, do this. I mean, they are not telling us we should have desires. What they are telling us is, if we already have it and we are unable to take it out, then fulfill it in a dharmic way. And that is never looked down upon. At the same time, he doesn't say, I can have worldly desires also, and I can seek absolute also. That extreme is also criticized. First finishing whatever we have to, and then becoming sincere students of Vedanta. That was regarding Manoratha. And we saw two criteria which can help us appreciate whether this desire is noble or ignoble. What was the first one? It should not come at the cost of somebody else's happiness. Means whenever we are pursuing our goals, we have to be very, very mindful of this. That it should not put anybody down. Means our goal should not be that. Pulling somebody down and then going up. I say, you do what you have to do. Yal labhase nija karmopattam. According to karma we get results. Being content with results of our hard work. And second part was, what are we going to do after that desire is fulfilled? Are we going to serve with it? Do we have some nobler goals? In fact, whoever feels a sense of duty, that person needs lot of resources. And when he goes out, when he expands all his roles to get those resources, it will not be a bondage for him. In fact, that will be one way to grow out of it. Means imagine, just we have to sit down and think through it. Whatever we are today, how many people and institutions have contributed to make us what we are today? Starting from our primary school, high school, college, music-related institutions, spirituality. And if you keep counting, there is a long list. And if I am able today, capable today, this person feels it is my duty to support them back. For this purpose, he is seeking resources. Now that quest of seeking resource, because it has a higher goal, not only focused around individual goal, that higher goal will not bind him. Means that pursuit of more resources will not bind him. Okay, another way to look at it. In our scriptures, how many purusharthas are there? 4. I already gave answer. First purushartha is? Actually, first one is artha. We start with desires. Actually, we start with kama. We have desires. For fulfilling that desire, we need artha. We need resources. but that which will keep a check on our desire and the means by which we are gathering resources. That is dharma. And somebody who has lived such a life, natural progression should be towards moksha purushartha. This is our Sanatan Dharma thinking. They never put down prosperity. They never criticize well-being. Only question what they ask is, what is your purpose? If purpose is to do dharmic actions, to use artha for shubha kamanas, then that same artha will become path towards liberation. To sweeten it, karma yoga will be introduced. So that path of gathering resources is not draining out that person. Even that he can make it as worship. And sometimes if you look at the far-sightedness of our rishis, we appreciate what kind of holistic lifestyle they have given us. Nobody can complain, I cannot be spiritual. That is a chaupai, aura manoratha jo koi lave, soi amita jeevana phala pave. Did we see 29 and 30? We did not, right? Okay. चारों जुग परताप तुम्हारा है परसिद्ध जगत उजियारा साधु संत के तुम रखवारे असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे चारों जुग पर ताप तुम्हारा. Hanuman Ji is somebody whose fame is spread in all the four worlds. है परसिद्ध. Parasiddha means prasiddha. Avadhi bhasha, no conjunct consonants. Pra means what? Pa, ra, a has to come. He says, don't make it so complicated. Say parasiddha. Hai parasiddha jagata ujiyara. His fame is well known and it illumines all the worlds. Means whenever we seek for an inspiration, is look at Hanuman Ji. Either at work or as a devotee, from whatever standpoint. Read Sundarkand, some insight will come on what we should do in our life right now. That is fame of a person. Their charitra, their living itself can inspire generations to come after them. Sadhu santa ke tumara khavare. Hanuman Ji, you are the protector of sadhu purushas. Asura nikandana Rama dulare. You are the one who destroys all inauspicious tendencies, all asuras, and you are the most dear one to Bhagwan Rama. See what is a great promise here in the first line? Hanuman Ji is the protector. Oh, does he protect everybody or only few people? So one who is a sadhu, to protect him is Hanuman Ji's responsibility. Then what is our responsibility? Strive to become sadhu. Strive to become sadhu. Now this we have seen in the previous session also. What is the idea that comes to mind when we hear the word sadhu? If you have heard it, then you will know. But otherwise, general notion is, if you just search online, somebody with long jata, ashes smeared all over the body, long nails. Kumbh Mela, if you see, different varieties you will get. One Mahatma Ji would say, in one tent there is Brahma Sutra discourse going on. Other tent there is a Babaji who has been standing for 30 years. Where do you think there will be more crowd? Babaji standing. They would want to see what is this, and name also will be given, Khadesari Baba. One Mahatma Ji would say, sadhu or sannyasa is not color of cloth. It is color of mind. What is that color of mind? Goswamiji himself writes, Sadhu charita, subha charita kapasu. He says sadhu purushas, they are like cotton. What is nature of cotton? Nirasa means it doesn't have any juice. Like a fruit, it doesn't have any juice. It is very dry. I mean that sadhu's heart doesn't have any taste for the world. Vishaya rasa is not there. So first quality to become a sadhu is desirelessness. Means he says, no matter what that thing is, before getting that thing, whatever I was, after getting that thing, same person I'm going to be. No change is going to come because that object has come in my life. That is desirelessness of a sadhu. Nirasa. Bishada means pure. Just like that cotton is very, very pure, like that the sadhu's heart is pure. In every transaction, he makes sure that what drives that transaction is his purity. That is called as bhava shuddhi. In our scriptures, sadhanas are not optional. Means whenever you see what is the quality of a saint, he cannot say 80% of my transactions I have bhava shuddhi. 20% I can compromise. He says no, either you are 100%, either you are sadhu, or you are on your way to becoming a sadhu. So first quality was desirelessness. Second one is purity. This Bhagavan Krishna mentions in Bhagavad Gita, bhava shuddhi in every transactions. Third one is gunamaya. Gunamaya means this person has values. So that cotton fruit, it can be used for so many things. Like that this person's values are plenty. Nirasa, bisada, gunamaya, phala jasu. Means simple criteria of values is, whenever we spend time with a sadhu, is our mind gets cheerful just by spending time. That is why people go so far. Sometimes some Mahatmas, they live somewhere so far, they will be having their sadhana and tapasya. But even that short duration we spend with them, it gives lot of peace. That is the bhavana of gunamaya. Those who have all these three things, that person is called sadhu. What did they do with these three qualities? Je sahi dukha, para chidra durava. That cotton was made into a cloth. One person took a needle, kept pricking it over and over again to make a kurta out of it. But what did that cotton do? It went to cover that same person who pricked that cloth. Je sahi dukha, para chidra durava, bandaniya jaha, jaga jasa pava. Means because of this, he attained lot of fame. Means that second line of that chaupai is talking about acceptance of a saint. Means whoever gave sorrow to that saint, towards that people also, he is compassionate. Sadhakas, they'll be compassionate towards those whom they love. But those who give sorrow, to have the same kind of compassion towards them, that is what makes a person sadhu. Such a person, if he is there, Hanuman Ji says, that person's protection is my responsibility. Sadhu santake tuma rakhaware. Otherwise, what is our notion that we hear generally? Oh, in this world, you cannot be straightforward. Whichever trees are straight, they get cut the first. And they'll quote Chanakya Niti also. The shloka is from there. Those perspectives, they don't think through the lens of karma. In Chanakya Niti, that verse is not in this context. What it says there is, don't be naive. Means don't be so, in English there are two words, right? Being simple and being simpleton. It says be simple, but not a simpleton. In that context, that shloka is there. But here, as far as sadhana is concerned, true protection of a person comes through his sadhutva. On the other hand, wherever he compromises on his values, that sadhaka himself feels, I am becoming weaker from inside. Wherever he is compromising on dharma, he feels his strength is going down. This we had seen, I think, in the previous session also. Mahatma Gandhi ji, his strength came from his one value. Satyam, ahimsa also you can add, two of it. And when he goes to this British Parliament, they give standing instructions. Nobody should stand. And the one who gave this instruction stands up first when he enters. I mean, their kavacha, their power comes from uncompromising practice of values. That is how a sadhaka feels. Whenever he slips, he himself feels, my protection is breaking apart. Sadhu santake tumarakavare, asura nikandana rama dulare. Another point we have seen before in this context is, Vedanta does not expect us to be sadhus on day one. Vedanta says, as long as our conviction is to become a sadhu, having all these qualities, even if that person falters, that is acceptable. Which is the verse in Bhagavad Gita? Apichet suduracharah bhajate mam ananya bhak sadhureva samantavyaha. If somebody is sudurachari, having all sorts of wrong things right now, but his conviction is to become a good person. Means if you see Ratnakar ji, when he meets Narad ji, what will you call Ratnakar at that point? Sudurachara. But Bhagavan Krishna doesn't call him Sudurachari. What does Bhagavan call him? Sadhureva samantavyaha. I call him a sadhu. Why? Samyak vyavasito hi saha. A person is whatever his convictions are. So right now he might be a durachari, but if his conviction is to become sadhu, it's only a matter of time he will become that. Put it other way also. If right now person is good, but in his mind he is not careful about his convictions, it's only a matter of time he will be led astray. So in our Shastra, action is not that important. What is more important is the conviction driving that action. Like mother scolding a child, externally you look at it, it looks like himsa. But inside, because the bhavana is good, that actually is beneficial to the child. Dasha varshani tadayet. That was Subhashitam, right? Lalayet pancha varshani. Fondle the child for 5 years. Dasha varshani tadayet. Discipline the child for 10 years. 16th year onwards, they are our best buddies. Prapte tu shodashe varshe putram mitravad acharet. Means if you want to tell your friend to do something, you can only suggest. You cannot demand. So he says after 16, you only have consulting role. You can suggest, you can consult, but not discipline, not demand. That is possible only when 10 years this person has disciplined. right? Then only you can let go and say, now you are on your own. So that is this mindset of a sadhu. What he is right now doesn't matter as much as what his convictions are right now. I remember when Mahatma Ji was sharing, he went to meet Akhandanand Ji Maharaj. Whoever new person would come, his advice or his first question to them was, Apna Nishchay Sunao. He will give a topic and he will tell me your conviction about this topic. So one Brahmachari Ji, he gave topic Ananda. He said, speak about your conviction about Ananda. Means imagine how much he has to think. He cannot parrot what he has heard. He said, what is my conviction I have to tell? And in front of such a great Mahatma, I cannot just tell whatever I feel. Sometimes even when we do this recaps, right? And people say, oh, you told us to share your personal understanding. I feel very afraid. Because if everybody shares their own personal understanding, you never know whether it aligns with the truth or not. Both are important. So what is our nishchaya is more important than actions. Next Chaupai, wherever I have done, we have discussed on it for 1.5 hours. But we'll try not to do it, okay? We try to go a little fast here. Ashta siddhi navnidhi ke data. Ashta siddhi navnidhi ke data. Asabar deen janaki mata. अष्ट सिद्धि नवनिधि के दाता असबर दीन जानकी माता की माता. We can give only that thing which we have with us. Hanuman Ji received Ashta Siddhi and Navanidhi. 8 forms of supernatural powers, superhuman powers, and 9 forms of wealth. From whom did he receive? Second line. Asabara Dina Janaki Mata. Sita Ji, who is the abode of all siddhi, all powers, she blessed Hanuman Ji with these powers. Ramayana, she doesn't show it much, except for 2 places. One is when all Ayodhya-vasis go to Mithila. Invitation was for Dashrath Maharaj. Janak Maharaj felt few more people will come. But go to see entire Ayodhya came to Mithila. Where will we arrange for stay and food and everything? Goswamiji writes, overnight palaces were built and everything was kept in the right place in every palace. And everybody thought somebody else did it. Janak Maharaj thought, my ministers who were in charge, they must have done it. Minister thought, oh, last minute some change came. Maharaj is so powerful, he did it. So Sita Ji, with her powers, Riddhi and Siddhi, she arranged for that whole night to welcome all Ayodhya-vasis. Second time she shows her power is when all the mother-in-laws, they meet Bhagwan in Chitrakoot. She serves each of her mother-in-law, each one, by creating different forms. Means one-on-one she does seva of all of them. Other than these 2, she doesn't show any of her powers. But she is the abode of all Ashtasiddhis and Navanidhi, 9 forms of wealth that she blesses Hanuman Ji with. Now Hanuman Ji has it, he can bless devotees with Ashtasiddhi and Navanidhi. Ashta Siddhi Navanidhi ke data. First line is for Hanuman Ji. Where did he get it from? He got it from Sita Ji. Asabaradina Janaki Mata. Puja Guruji has elaborated on these Ashta Siddhis. First layer of meaning is the literal meaning of it. Let us see that, simple meaning. But literally what those siddhis mean, they are supernatural powers which are gained by a lot of yogic practices. Doesn't come naturally. Overnight, these siddhis will not come. It will come because of yogic practices. See if anything inspires you out of the 8 ones. First one is anima. Anima means suddenly you can become small. Bal Vihar camp, we had asked them what would be the benefit of having these siddhis. One boy said, I can enter my class without teacher watching me. Anima means that, slowly he can come, when teacher is looking there, suddenly become big. Anima means to become small. So Hanuman Ji could become masaka samana. He could become like a mosquito. Second siddhi is called as mahima. He can become very big. When Surasa came, took a giant form. When he was about to cross the ocean, became like parvatakara, became like a mountain. That is called as mahima. Now if somebody is like a mountain, to jump from one place to another is very difficult. Third siddhi is garima. Garima means he can become very heavy also. As he needs, he can become heavy. But if he wants to jump, he can have the fourth siddhi called as laghima. Means light in weight. So Hanuman Ji, when he has to jump from one palace to another palace in Ravana's Lanka to burn that whole Lanka, he is huge, parvatakara. But at the same time he is light. So he can go from one palace to another. Garima, do you remember any Leela of Bhagwan Krishna? Trunavarta, when he comes, Yashoda Ji is holding Bhagwan Krishna. Suddenly he becomes heavier, heavier, heavier. She can't hold him anymore. Generally children grow heavier over time. He says, how this Kanhaiya is growing heavier right away. Then she leaves him there. Then that Trunavarta comes. Blinding storm, doesn't see anything. When that storm settles down, she sees a little boy holding that Trunavarta, and he is given moksha by Bhagwan Krishna. The main point is ability to become heavy. That is also siddhi. You see, in Hanumanji's case, the tail which he keeps for Bhima to lift, that is the siddhi. Can become so heavy, nobody can lift it. Okay, 4 done. Anima, Mahima, Garima, Laghima. 5th one is called as Prapti. Prapti means you wish for something, that thing will come in front of you. That is called as Prapti. Means he doesn't have to do karma to get that thing. What is ordinary jiva's condition? You wish for ice cream, you have to go, pay money, buy ice cream, then you will get it. Means desire has to be followed by karma. If somebody has prapti, siddhi, only sankalpa is sufficient. It's very dangerous. You wish for anything and that thing comes in front. You have seen that story of that person under Kalpavruksha, right? He started wishing for money, money came. Started wishing for house, house came. Then he suddenly felt, oh, this is in the middle of a forest. I hope there is no lion here. Lion came. Next thought was, I hope it doesn't eat me. It did its work. Means for a jiva to have prapti, it needs a lot of maturity. Anyway, that is the siddhi. 5th one called as prapti. 6th siddhi is called as prakamya or prakashya. Prakamya means teleportation. Teleportation. You disappear from one place, arrive somewhere else. Mahabharata, Ramayana serial, if you have seen, a lot of these siddhis are used there. Ravana disappears from one place, appears somewhere else. These are all different siddhis. Prakashya means having a body which is lit up. Means he doesn't need any flashlight, no torchlight. Wherever he goes, that thing will be illumined by his sharira only. Bhagwan Krishna had this siddhi where all gopis would complain. No matter where you tie this butter, how dark you make that place, still because he has this kantimaya deha, all other gopas go with him, steal that butter. That is the second meaning, either prakamya or prakashya. Prakamya means to go from one place to another. 7 and 8, ishitva means to be a leader, be a ruler. And vashitva means to control the other person. They do this hypnotic tricks, right? Hypnotism. Look in the eyes, do something, and then do this. Then whatever this person says, the same thing he ends up doing. That is called as vashitvam. Now the thing is, even if somebody has all these siddhis, it cannot guarantee removal of sorrow from that person's life. Try to apply that 8 siddhis. If this person is having some sorrow in life, either coming from the world or from his own physical body, he says, how are you going to solve it? I'll become small. I'll become big. I'll become heavy. That siddhi is not going to help here. Then Puja Guruji has given the applied meaning of all the siddhis. Implied meaning of every siddhi that is more meaningful than the literal siddhi. But we should appreciate that literal meaning is also possible for a yogi, for a tapasvi. Shall we see the applied meaning now? Okay, very interesting, all of them. First one is called as anima. Anima means to become small in ego. To become small in that person's ahankara, that is called as siddhi of anima. Means it doesn't make anything prestige issue. Just like other siddhi was difficult, the literal meaning of this siddhi was difficult, implied meaning is also difficult. That is why it is called as siddhi. Whenever I hear this quality of humility, one example comes to mind. Divine Life Society, Swami Chidanand Ji Maharaj. I have shared this also. Even when he speaks, he is so humble. When he sits also, he will sit on the edge of the chair. Like this in a very humble way. Once he was with Swami Akhandanand Ji, and they would pick up some verses from Bhagavad Gita, some words they would pick up. And these are great Mahatmas who themselves teach Vedanta. But they would have this discussion on very simple looking words. So one day, one devotee asked to Maharaj Ji, Swami Akhandanand Ji, he said, Maharaj Ji, please tell us what is the meaning of the word nirmamaha nirahankaraha? Devoid of attachment, devoid of ego. Maharaj Ji said, if you want to understand nirmamaha nirahankaraha, look at Chidanand Ji Maharaj. He is a living embodiment of nirmamo nirahankara. Now Swamiji, first of all, he is so humble. He was feeling so embarrassed being praised by such a great Mahatma. But another shishtachara means rules of conduct in front of great people is, if they say something, you cannot deny it outright. Means you cannot say, no, Swamiji, that is not true. He says you have to speak in such a way that you are not denying what they are saying. But you can't accept also that praise. What he said was, if Maharaj Ji is saying there is nirmamatva, nirahankara here, it has to be true. He said, why? If there is an adjacent room and one person says there is a suitcase kept inside that room, how will he know that there is a suitcase? He must have kept it inside. Only then he can say that there is a suitcase inside. You say if he is seeing some value here, he only has kept it. So it is nothing but natural that he knows that there is something over here. That is their mahima of having the siddhi of anima. In their own eyes, not having any kind of ahankara about their accomplishment. Second siddhi is mahima. Mahima means, see, if a person is always on the back foot, and if a situation demands where he has to step up, he says this person is ready to step up. If there is a bigger responsibility, bigger duty that is expected from this person at different levels, he doesn't only stay in his anima mode, he can also come in his mahima mode. Samarthya Vistara it is called. Samarthya means ability, Vistara means expansion. Bhagavan is also looking for right people to give greater work. And when it comes, if this person says, no. If you want to do something, if you want me to do something, I will do. But don't ask me to lead something. That means he is stuck in only one of it. Anima is there. But right understanding of anima is, he can go in anima mode, also come into mahima mode. So mahima is becoming more decisive. Remember when we saw Hanuman Ji becoming Parvatakara, Sukshma Roopadhari Siyahi Dikhava, Bikata Roopadhari Lanka Jarava. We had seen the implied meaning of that word Parvatakara. It is not literally becoming big, that is not the only meaning. When this person can grow up to that occasion, step up to that occasion, that is his siddhi. Third one is called as garima. Garima means to become heavy. So heaviness again is not at physical body level. Heaviness as far as his convictions are concerned doesn't allow any situation to lift him up right away. Many a times we keep receiving so many news, right? Either from people or through social media or through our everyday regular news. One with garima is person who will not get swayed by opinions quickly. Means he will have an independent, decisive mind which is evaluating things objectively. Otherwise it's very easy to get shaped by opinions, shaped by so many other things outside. That is the quality of garima. Fourth one is laghima. And this is a very interesting quality to have. To be light-hearted. To be light-hearted about ourselves. About different experiences in life. I said that is one siddhi. That person will not become too serious about things. Great Mahatmas, they have so many different ways of expressing this siddhi. Once in Puja Guruji's satsang, different devotees were coming, bowing down and going. This was in India when we were studying. One family came. This Amma had 3 kids. She introduced first one, she said, is in high school. Swamiji, tell him something. Very naughty. Second one, she said, is in college. Doing well. Please give some advice for college. Third fellow, I have been telling him to get married. He works for Google and has been searching. Guruji said, Arey, he works at Google, cannot search. ये कैसी नौकरी है? Means first two sentences or the 10 minutes was so tensed that she was feeling, oh my God, so many things are happening. But that laghima, that is also a siddhi. All these characters, Mullah Nazruddin, Tenali Raman, they had the siddhi. Mullah, it is said, he would have a evening get together with all his friends. And their ritual was, everybody has to tell a joke. Evening when they meet, each person has to come with a new joke. Now one day, one person shared a joke, but he messed up all his punchlines. Everything was upside down. It was not funny at all. Mullah started laughing. Loudly he was laughing. Everybody said, why did you find this funny? He said, if I don't laugh, he will tell it again. That is the siddhi of laghima. Not for others, but for our own life, we should be able to look at it in a jovial way. Whatever failures you must have had, if we can look at with a light heart, light-heartedly, that is the siddhi of laghima. Fifth one is prapti. Prapti means somebody who is very good in getting things done. We say that, right? This person is a go-getter. Whatever resources you give, without complaining about lack of resources, he can get his work done. This you see even in different types of workplaces. Same organization, same set of resources. One person is always complaining about organization, lack of resources, lack of people, bureaucracy which is there. And another person in the same place, he is able to survive and also thrive. The one who is able to do it, that person is having this quality of prapti. Means he knows exactly how to deal with different people. Sama, dana, danda, bheda. All four he knows. Sama means conversation. He says whenever he has to get some things done, he knows that through conversation also you can get things done. Dana means giving some carrot. In a dharmic way, all four are techniques which are mentioned in Shastra. They are not talking about unethical carrots. Means we have this star performer of the week, star performer of the month. That is Danam. One way to get work done. Danda is consequences, reminding of consequences. And Bheda, how will you translate Bheda? Means it doesn't put all his investment into one area. Means if he has to get work done, he has multiple backups. That is Bheda Niti. So every king had to have these four qualities. Means if they feel or if they put all their trust in one part of their army, and if something goes wrong there, whole kingdom is in jeopardy. So they would have Bheda Niti. I mean, there are different plans he already has in mind by which his kingdom is safe. So one who has these qualities, that person is having the siddhi of prapti. Sixth one is called as prakamya. Prakamya means one who is a creative thinker. He can think out of the box and he can go wherever he wants to go. What was the literal meaning of prakamya? Teleportation. You disappear from one place, you arrive at somewhere else. Hey, what are you going to do with that siddhi? But if you can come out of difficult situations, that siddhi is called as prakamya. Creatively, he can escape or grow out of situations. That ability to think in that way, that person is creative thinker. Our Swamiji, Swami Swarupanandaji, has a course called Make It Happen. And there Swamiji gives a lot of interesting examples, analogies. One example he shares there is about this footwear company, Bata. 2 footwear companies, they go to some African country to survey their market, whether it is worth coming here or not. One company goes and says, nobody is used to wearing footwear here. No point in coming, we won't have any market. And this Bata guy, he goes there and says, sir, nobody is wearing footwear here. We can convince them about the value of wearing footwear. This is the market we have to be in. That ability to see opportunities, that is this siddhi of prakamya. There is a movie, right? Field of Dreams. Have you all seen it? There is a line that comes there. If you build, they will come. Which court was he building? Baseball court, I think. Baseball field. He says, who will come in this village to watch baseball? That line is, if you build, they will come. That applies for all projects. Even study group, if you want to start, you start, they will come. That is the siddhi of prakamya. 7th and 8th one, ishitvam and vashitvam. This person is ruling other person's heart. He is not an external ruler. Through love and care, he is showing his leadership. I'll conclude with a short anecdote. More you can read it on your own. In one of the examples for this ishitvam and vashitvam, because this particular concept, it is so relevant in our everyday life. Wherever we go, we want people to align with the vision. Even at workplace, they talk about this, right? Company culture. You have to align with the vision of the company. But how to do it? There is one case study which was done on this Taj Hotel. The employees of Taj Hotel, when the attack took place in 2008, 50 people of that hotel, the employees who were there, everybody knew the escape route. How to escape from this hotel in case of emergency. But that case study was, none of those employees left the hotel. They did everything they could, went over and beyond to save the people who were trapped there, and then only they went back. In fact, next day, even when this whole thing was going on, they cooked hot meal for everybody. Whoever was inside, they did this. So they have a case study which is done on this. And the question that was asked was, how are they able to inspire these employees to do exactly what the management would want them to do? And very nice findings are there. They say one of the things is value-based recruitment. When they recruit people, they don't only see their competence, but they also see their background. So they would go to smaller towns, then recruit people. And he talks about how much of trust the management had on the employees. When they were told, whenever you take a decision to put your customer ahead of you, we will support you. You don't have to come every single time to seek permission. So whenever you put people ahead of everything, that decision will be supported. This was a Harvard study. Very nicely it is. Findings are very nicely laid out. That is the quality of ishitvam and vashitvam. You cannot order people. We cannot command people. But he says we can care for people. That caring leads into this quality of ishitvam and vashitvam. That is a siddhi, not easy to get. Okay, so one more session, we will conclude Hanuman Chalisa. Comfortably we'll conclude. We still have 8 chaupais. Hanuman Chalisa I have done in 3 days also. 3 sessions, but depends on how we want to reflect upon the verses. Recap, we will do it on the first session when we meet in the next semester. Okay, we'll not do it now. So I would like 5 of you to volunteer to recap. We'll meet in between during summer. We'll have a satsang with just those who have signed up. We'll discuss how you can lay out your topics. We'll assign chaupais also. So Manuja, you can collect the names. 5 of you. Ideally those who have not spoken last time.